At the very beginning of the film, we see a dense green jungle where Catherine and Francois are running in fear. From their condition, it looks like they have been running for a long time and are completely exhausted. Because of the fatigue, Francois drops his sword and Catherine throws away her bag to move faster. That bag was actually filled with gold coins. Suddenly, Francois notices a large stone standing in the middle of a field. Both of them start running toward it, but before they can reach it, someone jumps on Francois from behind and kills him. Seeing this, Catherine panics and runs toward the stone to save her life, but a monster drags her with its tongue and kills her too. The scene ends with the camera zooming in on the stone. Next, the scene shifts to a truck carrying 4 friends, Sophie, David, Jenny, and Ben, who are on their way to visit a village on an island. Soon, the truck driver drops them near the village, close to that same stone. The driver then says, "I can't go any further from here." He shows them the road to the village and leaves. The 4 friends find this strange. Why didn't the driver go beyond the stone? But since they are lighthearted and playful, they don't take it seriously. Only Sophie, who knows a bit of history, tries to understand the carvings on the stone. Then they move on. They arrive at the village and meet a man named Hamish. Hamish tells them that not far from the village, there is an ancient place that is never mentioned in tourist guides. Hearing this, Sophie says she wants to see it. Hamish explains that it will take 7 hours to get there, since no vehicle can reach the place. He then offers, "I have a cabin nearby. You can spend the night there and begin your journey in the morning." Hamish calls his son Sean, who drives them to the cabin. On the way, they hear noises from the bushes. Hamish immediately fires his gun into the dark. The group asks him what it was. Hamish replies, "Don't worry, wild boars often roam around here. I can handle them alone." After showing them the cabin, he leaves with his son. But before going, he hangs his gold watch outside the cabin. Why he does this will be revealed later. That night, everyone is asleep. Suddenly, Ginny hears a sound outside. Like a curious horror movie heroine, she peeks out of the window. Right then, a terrifying creature passes by. The sight makes her dizzy with fear. She screams, waking everyone up, and insists, "I saw something outside, I'm sure of it." David mocks her, saying, "We're in such a scary forest, you're just hallucinating." But Jenny sticks to her claim. To calm her, David says, "All right, if someone's really out there, I'll open the door and check." But when he tries, the door doesn't open. It's locked from the outside. That's when everyone realizes Hamish had trapped them inside on purpose. Furious, they try breaking open every door and window, but nothing works. Jenny, shivering in fear, sits next to Jimmy. Suddenly, a hand comes out of the chimney and snatches her earring, tearing her ear and making it bleed. Everyone is frozen in terror. Then the monster crawls out of the chimney. To save themselves, they all lock themselves in a room. The creature keeps pounding on the door, trying to break it. Taking the chance, they escape through the chimney. But as they climbed out, the monster attacks David's leg, leaving him badly injured. The 4 of them run for their lives toward another cabin. The monster smashes through the chimney and starts chasing them. David, limping with his wounded leg, falls behind. To save him, Jenny throws her lantern at the creature. Seeing the flames, the monster recoils. Fire is its weakness. They use the opportunity to reach the nearby cabin. Ben tries to break the door, but it won't budge. Just then, a key drops from above. They quickly unlock the door and rush inside. Inside, they find piles of belongings. Sophie realizes these are things from previous tourists. Hamish had lured tourists here and let the monster kill them. But why? That mystery is yet to unfold. They also find a book carved with the same symbols as on the stone outside the village. Sophie reads it aloud and reveals the truth. The creature chasing them is a leprechaun. Long ago, it lived inside a cave. The villagers, greedy for gold, turned the cave into a mine. When they stole its gold, the leprechaun came out and began to kill the villagers. In the end, the villagers made a deal. Every year, they would offer human sacrifices. David then realizes, so Hamish trapped us here to be the sacrifice. But Sophie adds one more truth. The leprechaun can't cross its boundary. The stone marks that limit. That's why the truck driver refused to go past the stone. Meanwhile, Hamish, his son Sean, and their friend Ian arrive at the old cabin, thinking the tourists must be dead by now. But when they enter, they find no bodies. That's when they realize the four are still alive. Sean feels troubled because he never wanted to kill innocent people, but his father is truly ruthless. They set out again to search. Soon, they notice a light glowing inside another cabin. Hamish immediately knows that's where the four are hiding. The friends rush inside the cabin using a key, but Hamish has already tracked them down. To defend themselves, they grab whatever weapons they can find. Just then, Sean arrives. He doesn't fire at them, but moments later, Hamish also shows up. Suddenly, a gunshot is heard upstairs. It's clear the leprechaun has attacked Ian. Hamish orders Sean to keep an eye on the four while he goes to look for Ian. A little farther away, he finds Ian in a gruesome state. With his last breath, Ian whispers, "Look behind you," for the leprechaun was standing right there. But Hamish, being vile and selfish, abandons him and runs away, leaving Ian to die. Back at the cabin, the four friends manage to sneak out of the basement, and Sean lets them escape. They reach the road, though David is badly wounded. Just then, an old woman drives up and offers them a ride, but soon they realize she too is working with Hamish. She hands them over to him. Hamish points his gun at them, ties them to trees, and leaves with Sean and the old woman. Not long after, the leprechaun appears. It rips out a gold piece from Jenny's tongue, leaving her bleeding in agony. Now they understand. The leprechaun's true obsession is gold. That's why it tore off her earring earlier. The monster then attacks David. He survives, but is severely injured. In the struggle, his ropes snap loose. He frees Jenny as well. The leprechaun lunges at David again, but by then, Jenny has untied the others, and together they escape. Instead of running toward the stone, they return to the cabin, driven by their need to take revenge for David. Sophie tells Jenny to hide on the roof, while she and Ben stand guard with weapons near the chimney. When the leprechaun arrives, they ambush it, but the creature is clever. It throws Jenny down from the roof. In panic, Ben and Sophie mistake her for the monster and strike her with an axe, killing their own friend. Losing two friends devastates Sophie. Heartbroken, she decides to head toward the stone with Ben. Outside, they find Ian's car, but the keys are missing. Nearby lies Ian's body. Sophie goes to retrieve the keys, while Ben lights a flare to keep the leprechaun away, but the creature cunningly advances. Forced to retreat, they run into another cabin. The leprechaun follows them inside and brutally rips out Ben's spine, killing him. It then climbs into the attic, searching for Sophie. But at that moment, Sean appears and opens fire on the leprechaun, giving Sophie a chance to escape. As she runs downstairs, she finds Hamish pointing a gun at her. But then, Sean turns his weapon on his own father. Sophie seizes the chance and flees. Sean confronts Hamish, shouting, "You've gone mad!" In the middle of their quarrel, the leprechaun suddenly attacks and kills Hamish. Sean collapses in grief, weeping over his father's death. Meanwhile, Sophie reaches Ian's car and manages to start it, trying to escape the forest. But the leprechaun leaps onto the vehicle. She slams the brakes, throwing it off, but the car won't start again, so she runs on foot. The monster chases her. But just then, dawn begins to break. Sophie arrives at the very spot where Catherine's bag of gold coins and Francois's sword had fallen at the beginning of the story. She throws some of the gold coins at the leprechaun. Blinded by greed, the monster goes after them. Seizing the moment, Sophie grabs the sword and decapitates the leprechaun. In the final scene, Sophie steps beyond the boundary marked by the stone. She is the only survivor, and this is where the story ends.